Alright, what is up, YouTube? This is Brian here from Team Board Wipe. We got a deck profile coming in from top 8 of Minneapolis. I got 6th place. 6th place. Went X1-1. I lost to a Kashmir, and I drew against a Kashmir. I beat all the non-Cash decks, and then I beat one Kashmir. I played 3. Um, my deck is like mostly standard, but also kind of weird and bad. So here we go. 3 Fenrir, 3 Unicorn. I did play 2 Rise Heart. I should probably play 1. But I played 2. Scareclaw Ogre. No Tier Cash. And then 3 Theosis, 3 Birth. Planet Terraforming, Big Bang. It's pretty standard. I think that's 21 cash cards. So 19 non-engine stuff. I cut prep. People would tell me to do it for like a month. I finally did it yesterday. I didn't miss it, so I probably won't be putting it back in. 3 Prosp, 2 Desires. I don't know how I feel about that. Last power spell, just 1 Tactics. It was the 40th card. For hand traps, I mained Astral Imperm. I'm the only cash player that saw any success in that tournament that did not main Shifter. I only played 3 Kashmirs, so in theory, like Shifter could have been okay in the main, but 6 of the top 8 were cash, and 9th place was also cash. So it's just like, I don't know. The best Shifter's going to do in the mirror match is stop you from getting drilled, so I didn't like it. So I put it in my side. Last 4 cards, 3 Crossout, 1 Nibiru. I think a lot of people are starting to put Nibiru back in, and I was proven right with Jesse Cotton's list from the YCS playing Nibiru. I did not cross out a Nibiru, but I did Nibiru Super Heavy Samurai player, so that was cool. I cross-outed an Imperm, I cross-outed a Droll, and I cross-outed an Ash. And I think that is it. I never cross-outed a Nibiru. Yeah, that's 40 cards in the main. I'm not sold on this card yet. It was okay. Probably could have been better. But extra deck, I did play 3 Arise, 2 Shang. Some people only play 2. Sometimes if one gets Unicorn and then the other gets Diablosis, you don't get to play with the Rise Heart, and sometimes you lose those games, and that's not fun. So I did that. 2 Zeus. I only did 1 Big Eye, Draco Sack, Dark Arms, Diablosis. Only 1 Big Eye. This gets ripped a lot by people that see one of it and be like, haha, I'll take it away from you. But then that just means I'm playing with multiple Zeuses and I'm playing with my engine. And I like that, so I don't really care if they're with the Big Eye. There's been very rare instances where they're like, oh, I ripped your Big Eye, and they're like, oh, well, now I absolutely lose the game because you did that. I just feel like it doesn't happen that much, but who knows. 1 Donner, 1 Infinitrack. I did play the Fossil Warrior Skull Knight instead of Garura. Never came up. Never had to use it. And then I played a Baron that I had to give back. Shout out Dami. That was the extra deck. I don't think there's anything crazy about it. Side deck, 3 Shifter, 2 Kaiju, 2 Evenly, 1 Harpies. These are my 3 removal cards. I sided 3 Econ for the mirror. I think this card's nuts. And then 1 Call by the Grave. One of my friends told me to put this in last minute, and I did. And the only time I ever resolved it was against a Despia player where I called by his gimmick puppet and then OTK'd him. It was pretty neat. And then I sided 3 Spellbound. I'm still not sold on this card yet. I only resolved it once, and I had locked 3 of his monster zones, and he like pushed through some of my stuff, and then he summoned Fenrir Unicorn, and I flipped Spellbound. And he said, oh, my turn is over. And I said, yes, it is. And then I drew for turn, and I OTK'd him. So, I don't know. Like, it has some utility. I think in a lot of instances it's going to be better than D-barrier, just because a lot of times you want to use D-barrier, you have to call Xyz, and that like conflicts with your boards more often than not. Um, but it's also just worse than D-barrier, right? So like I don't know. This is probably not going to be in my deck for the YCS, but I decided that I was going to play something a little crazy at the regional and see what happened, and that's why I have crossouts and spellbounds in my deck list. Oh well. Um, all right, so that is the first half of this video. I'll do shout outs to Team Board Wipe, shout out Avery, shout out Izzy, Ollie, shout out Montana, who's going to let me travel a lot for the next month for Yu-Gi-Oh! Shout out VCG, TLZ, and ARS, our local store sponsors. Walter and Jose for card lending, and that's probably it for now. We'll see. Part 2 of this video. It's kind of crazy. There were 6 Kashtira decks in top 8, and ninth place was also a Kashtira deck that won Fargo the day before this regional. So I thought it would be cool to compare them all and kind of see what's going on. So let me get out of this. Let me go over here and get out of this. Let me minimize that. I'm all over the place. Here we go. Oh, timed out. Sick. Okay. So we're going to start with looking at not my OTS winning cash list. Ooh, actually, no, this is interesting. This was a few months ago, back when people were still playing Eclipse and Lava Golem, and I memed the BA cards for time. That never happened or came up. Cash toss. Okay, so this is the bare bones that was in every cash list. Oh, not this. That made top 8 at the Minneapolis Regional. Very interesting. Oh, actually, no, not this either. Shoot. Not Dark Armed. I forgot to update it. Okay, so there are 20 engine cards and 6 non-engine that didn't vary between any of the topping lists. And that's pretty standard, right? Like 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. Usually this was at 2, but then 3, 3. So like, I don't know. And then we're gonna start building it backwards. Oh, I need my keyboard for this over here. So let's start with like the engine, right? Like this was the bare bones. 6 of the 7 decks played 2 Rise Heart. So the one Rise Heart was only played by 1 player because the rest of us are cowards. So we're gonna put in that second Rise Heart, and then 6 of the 7 people also play 3 Arise Heart. The one person that didn't play 3 is a psychopath. Shout out Thomas Durnell. He played XL Synchro Dragon instead because that's how he was making Baron. He didn't play the level 3 tuners. Oh, I think he played. Did he play Ash? Tommy might not have played Ash. This Ash might not need to be here. Let's see. Yeah, no. Okay, so Tommy did not play Ash. So, boop. Nope, no Ash Blossoms in the thing. So, 6 of the 7 played 2 Rise Heart. 6 of the 7 played 2 or 3 Arise Heart. 6 of the 7 played Draco Sack, and 6 of the 7 played Dark Armed. It should be noted that the person who didn't play Dark Armed said that they played Draco Sack instead. And the winning list of the regional is the one that didn't play Draco Sack. So, you know. Goodness. So, for the rest of the extra deck, 6 of the 7 played Donner. So let's add a Donner. The one person that didn't play Donner played Almirage instead, and that's because they sided Ibley. They were the only one that sided Ibley. That was second place list. And then Fossil Skull Knight. 2 people played Warrior Skull Knight, and 2 people played Garura. Nobody played both. 3 people played neither. But these were the 2 fusions. Nobody played the Spell Trap one or anything. So let's do. And then the last extra deck monster to touch on is probably, yeah, Omega. Let's get that over here. And I already mentioned that one person played Axel. So the only people that played Omega were the 5 people that were playing the Gamma package. Um, obviously, right? You're not making Omega if you're not playing Gamma. So, yeah, across 7 cash lists, there were only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different extra deck monsters. So it's pretty locked down. Any fluctuation in the standard is explainable and has like specific reasons for it, other than this card. Shout out Tommy D. So yep, that was that. As far as cards in the main or bust. So these cards, if they were played, were only played in the main deck. Ash Blossom was played by 6 of the 7 players. Again, Tommy is a psychopath that did not play it. Tommy, we love you, don't worry. 3 people played Desires, 4 did not. It's worth noting that a lot of this has everything to do with the Gamma package. A lot of people are putting Gamma in their deck and cutting Desires to make sure Gamma is always live and they're never banishing Driver. Or so if they're not playing Gamma, they can put Desires in so the non-engine they're drawing after they combo is always going to be live, so they're not drawing a Gamma off the Desires after you've comboed into your board. So, worth noting. 3 people played Imperm in the main, and 4 didn't play it anywhere. 2 duelists played Mourner. 5 did not play it anywhere. And as far as engine goes, 1 person played Tier Limits Kashtira. 1 person played Prep. They're different people. 2nd place, 4th place. And then 1 crazy person played Crossout Designator in the main deck. So those are the different cards that were either found in the main deck or nowhere at all. Let's talk about flex cards. There are 3 cards that were found in everybody's deck list somewhere. That first card is Shifter. This card was in everybody's list. 6 of the Kashtira duelists main decked it, and 1 put it in the side deck where it belonged. Everybody was also playing Droll somewhere. 5 duelists main Droll, and Ryan and I sided it. No, I did not side it. I mained it. Ryan sided it and somebody else sided it. I mained it because I wasn't maining Shifter. Ryan sided it because he hated it with Shifter and he decided to main Shifter instead. That's what happened. And then the last card is Tactics. 4 people mained at least one Tactics. 3 duelists sided Tactics. Tactics is probably the most varied numbered card. Like, I mained 1, some people mained 2, some people sided 3, some people sided 1 because of the thrust package. So this card was the most varied in the quantity played, but every duelist had one in their deck somewhere. Other cards that were kind of all over the board. 4 duelists were playing Gamma, and 1 was siding. 3 duelists were maining Book of Moon, and 2 were siding. 1 duelist was maining the Kumongous Kaiju, and 3 were siding. 1 duelist was maining enemy controllers, and 2 were siding it. And then 1 duelist was maining Change of Heart, and 1 duelist was siding it. So we have everybody played Shifter, Droll, Tactics. 5 of us played Gamma. 5 of us played Book of Moon. 4 of us played Kaijus. 3 of us played Econs, and 2 of us played Change of Hearts. These were the cards that were found sometimes in the main, sometimes in the side. Never both, I don't think. I don't think there was ever like a, oh, I mained 2 Kaijus and sided 1, or I mained 2 Econ and sided a third. If I recall correctly, all of these cards were either completely in the main or completely in the side. No splits. No, I do not want to add Shifter to my favorite card. That card should be banned. Alright, and now we've gone over the extra deck stuff. We've gone over the main or bust. We've gone over the flex cards that kind of show up wherever they want. Let's talk about the side deck cards. There's 2 that were pretty prevalent. As you can see, not a single side deck card was played by all 7 of us, though. So that's an interesting thing to note as well. We've got Harpy's Feather Duster, was played by 5 of us. Evenly Matched was played by 4 of us. Pretty common going second cards. Harpy's Feather Duster is the one that I was surprised didn't show up in 2 people's side decks. Second place list played 3 Storm instead. 4th place list sided 3 Cosmic because of Anti-Spell. They were worried about that. He said he usually does 2 Cosmic, 1 Harpies, but in this instance, he decided to do 3 Cosmic. So those are the 2 most common side cards. The other one that was sided by 3 people for going first is Solemn J. I took out Solemn J. I didn't like it very much, but other people did. Now we got some 2 ofs. So 2 duelists. So those are the popular ones. 2 duelists sided copies of these. We have Dimensional Barrier was in 2 side decks. Called by the Grave was in 2 side decks. Lightning Storm was in 2 side decks. A Pointer was in 2 side decks. Thrust was in 2 side decks. Herald of the Abyss was in 2 side decks. Nope, not that. It is worth noting that Herald of the Abyss was only in the side decks as a one-of by the people that played the Thrust card. So it's basically the same card. But yes, those are the cards that 2 of the 7 duelists decided would be good in their side decks. And now we have the one-offs, the weird ones, that only one of the duelists thought would be good. MVP, Spellbound, of course. Woo! Good card. Good card. The winning list was siding 2 DD Crow. Let's see. If we go over, look at Brooke. Yeah, she sided 2 DD Crow, and she was the one signing triple book, triple tactics, main 15 hand traps. All of her non-engine, her non-ended consisted of 3 Pot of Prosperity and 15 hand traps. So, and a brick. um, I also saw DD Crow at the table next to me in the side deck of a super heavy Sam player also. So I don't. This card could be a keep an eyeball out at YCS Philly. This might sneak into people's side decks if you've got a deck that is hurt by DD Crow. You might want to prep for that. One duelist sided Ghost Ogre. That same duelist also sided Macrocosmos. Oh, Tommy. Oh, Tommy. Oh, Tommy. And then Cosmic was in one side deck. Dark Ruler was in one side deck. And Ibli was in one side deck. So across 7 different cache lists, 16 different side cards. So we found that there were 15 different extra deck cards, but the extra deck had a lot more one-ofs because outside of like Zeus, Arise, and Shang, most of the extra deck were one-ofs. But a lot of 3-ofs in the side decks, and still people found different 3-ofs to side, or they squeezed in one-ofs, like one macro or one called by or one appointer, since those cards are all limited. Oh, is macro not limited? Just kidding. Not macro. I forgot that macro is not limited anymore. Called by an appointer are the limited ones. So yeah, a little bit more variety with the side deck. Oh, especially since there were cards that some people sided that some people made it. So what I said 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 24 different cards in the side decks. I forgot about the other cards. So yeah, 24 different cards were found in each of the Kashtira duelist side decks. So it's pretty intriguing. But at its base, 23 main deck cards and 10 extra deck cards were just all the same in all the Kashtira decks. So if you're prepping for Philly and you're like, you know what? I want to play Kashtira. Oh, 9 extra deck cards. It should be 10 because who doesn't play 3 Rise Heart? You're looking for a starting point for YCS Philly. This DB link is going to be in the description for you. Last thing I'm going to say is that I don't think anybody played 2 Big Eye. I think none of the topping cash decks had 2 Big Eye. Yeah, 1 Big Eye, 1 Big Eye, 1 Big Eye, 1 Big Eye. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so there you have it. I'll probably throw all of these lists into the description if you want to kind of take a look for yourself, play around with any of them. If you liked one more than the other, you can use that one as your starting point. But there you have it. The Kashtira deck comparison from the Minneapolis Regional. Hopefully, this will be one of the last times that Kashtira takes 6 of the 8 top spots. because it's starting to get a little stale. Like I don't mind playing Kashtira. It's not the worst format I've ever played in, but I mean, we're coming up on 3 months of Kashtira just outperforming every other deck in the format, and Syac didn't really change that. So here we are. See you at Philly.